All right. So, it's gonna be like a short video. This isn't gonna be one of the podcast episodes, probably, since all I want to talk about is just this really stupid thing that I talked about this in my last stream, but I wanted to talk about it in a video as well so more people could see it because I honestly think some of the ideas are interesting and I might be interested in actually making a standalone game. So I was thinking about it. I should just explain what this is. So I had dreams in 2023. I had this reoccurring dream of Outer Wilds 2, and then after I beat Outer Wilds 2 in the worst way possible, I then had a singular dream of Outer Wilds 3. I'm disappointed that I only had a singular dream because it was actually really cool. I honestly would be interested in like playing it. But so the thing is, with both of them, they would be like, it would be easier to make them as standalone games than trying to make a mod. And if I made them as standalone games as like spiritual successors to Outer Wilds sort of thing, uh, that would be preferable, anyways, because then I could actually make money. But if I were to turn either of them into a video game, 100% it would be my dream of Outer Wilds 3, even though that's the one that I had only a singular dream of, and I don't have much to go off of from that dream. But the basic rundown is Outer Wilds 2 was really interesting, where it was like you start off in like an advanced utopia area, uh, like similar to what I think the Nomai like civilizations would have been. Like it's like if the Nomai decided to settle down, it kind of looked like the architecture of the vessel was turned into a city. From what I remember, that's kind of what the architecture looked like. And so you were actually on this big ship similar to the vessel with a 20-man crew or something like that. And so it takes place in the new universe that gets created at the end of Outer Wilds. And so you're playing. I'm gonna drink some water real fast. And so the first like 10 to 20 minutes is you just walking around the city area as you're getting ready to man a flight into deep space. But then when the when you start flying, something happens, and I would honestly say it would be like it would almost act as a prequel to an extent in some ways, where it would be a recreation of what happened to the Nomai, where your vessel crashes and you end up on a planet by yourself, and one of the cruiser ships is actually with you. So you have a singular tiny ship that you get to fly around in. And your whole goal is to try and fix the vessel that broke on your way to this solar system. And so the solar system was like fucking massive. It was like 10 times bigger than the outer wild solar system. And one of the really cool things that would be insane to try and make is that all of the planets except for the one you start on were like quantumly entangled, and they were all quantum planets. So they all acted like the quantum moon, where if you tried to fly into them without, taking a picture or something, they would disappear. And when you would look away, the planets would then all change where they are, so they would like swap their orbits with each other and shit. It was like really cool. And so as you're playing, you're just like trying to find all your crew that are either dead or alive on these planets, trying to see who's alive, get them back to the vessel so that they can help you fix the vessel. And then you end up finding there's 3 different species on the different planets. So one of them is like a nice species, one of them is a neutral species, and then the last one is an extremely aggressive species, similar to the owl elks, where they just are kill on sight type, you know? And so I don't remember if there was a time loop or not, but I think there was a time loop aspect to the game. And so to stop the time loop or something like that, you needed to befriend or destroy all 3 species. Literally, you had to befriend or kill them. So there were a couple of horror sequences with the aggressive ones. There were some puzzles and whatnot, some dialogue and shit with the species. And from what I remember, with the ending that I got, I think I killed everybody except for the nice species. Because as it turns out, the neutral species are actually just assholes. As to gain their trust, they hand off a problem child to you and are all like, yeah, just you know, show that you care for our species by helping this problem child not be a problem child. So I actually succeeded in making the problem child not a problem child. Not by killing them. I helped them. And so then the species for some reason went full blown owl elk and tried to kill me. And so I killed them and then fixed my vessel and left or something like that. You know what? I think it ended after I killed them with the nice species going, dude, you're a fucking murderer. What the hell's wrong with you? And so then the nice species also disliked me. But I don't think I killed them. But I do think I fixed the vessel and I flew off, ending the game. And then I think I got like the worst possible ending you could. I mean, I guess you could have gone worse by genociding everybody. Since I don't think I killed the nice species, I think I was just like, yeah, I killed everybody. I'm sorry. And I just dipped. But yeah, I think I remember one thing that happened with that dream now that I forgot to write down was I killed the extremely aggressive species because I just didn't feel like dealing with the horror segments to try and get them to not kill on sight and whatnot, to like try and befriend them. I didn't feel like going through all that bullshit, so I just killed them. And I think that's why the neutral species ended up hating me. They just wanted a reason to hate me, which is why they handed the problem child to me. So then when I succeeded with the problem child, they were all like, I don't give a fuck that you helped a problem child. You're a terrible person. And I think that's why they went genocide mode on me. So yeah, I think you're supposed to I think the neutral species, from what I remember in my dream, the neutral species was the one that you had to befriend last. The nice species is just already befriended, so they instantly are all like, "Oh yeah, we'll help you fix up your vessel and shit." And so like the whole thing is the reason you'd want to befriend the species is to fix your vessel. So I think maybe I didn't fix it, or I think I did fix it, but it wasn't fully fixed or something like that, I think. So I got like a bad ending where you run out of fuel or some shit like that and are drifting off into space forever and you die. Something like that. Anyways, I honestly, so I still think for like Outer Wilds 2, my dream of it, I honestly think it would be a really good spiritual sequel, you know? Because it's like super different in a way, but it's still like, uh, it still has that heart of Outer Wilds, you know? And the fact that it is an actual sequel because it takes place in the new universe makes it also like, you know, interesting. Also remember that the extremely aggressive species lived underground, and their architecture was very similar to owl elks, and they had like a little village that was that surrounded this like uh lake. It surrounded like this little lake. And yeah, I remember that as well. And so because it was underground, it was only lit by lanterns, so it was like the dream world but even darker. And I think that's part of the reason why I said, nah, fuck this. And I just went with the kill route instead. I'm a terrible person. And then, so my Dream of Outer Worlds 3, this is the one that I would honestly think of turning into a video game because it would be far easier. I don't think I could ever make Outer Worlds 2, at least by myself, but Outer Worlds 3, I could. So it starts with you in a village, very, very, very similar to the Harthian village. And so what's really interesting is like in the Harthian village in the middle there's that big building in the tree. Um right? It's inside of a tree, wasn't it? Outer Wilds Hearth Village. Like where the you can look through the probe. Not the probe, but the orbital um thingy. The orb is the Hearth satellite, that thing. That like little area where you can look through the satellite that is orbiting Hearth. So that building, it's like it's kind of like um in that building, instead of it being like the orbital, instead of it being an area where you can look through the camera of the sat of Hearth's satellite, instead there's like this altar that you lay down on, and you enter this dream world. So it's like a dream ritual for like it's a coming of age thing. So it's also very reminiscent of um Outer Wilds, the intro to Outer Wilds with that, where it's like your coming of age is when you start exploring space and whatnot. But in this case, it's a dream ritual thing. And so in the dream world, it's like when you enter it, you enter into what looks like the village again, but it's like weirdly bright, but like had a more haunting atmosphere somehow. And then you walk up some steps to enter an area in the dream world called the Sunset City. And I gotta say, that name fucking slaps. Sunset City, bro, that shit slaps. And I remember that one, so like I think it was like with the when you first enter the dream world, the area you're in, it's just like a white dome over top of the village pretty much. And that's what makes it look weirdly bright but also haunting. Everything had like this weird white glow to it almost. And it just looked really ghostly and eerie. And then when you walk up the steps, it's this like big white doorway, and so you walk up it, you go through, and then when you get to the Sunset City, it, as the name suggests, it looks like a sunset city. It look so now the skybox is like this sunset orange color, but it's not like an actual sunset. It's just the color of the sunset, of a sunset. And one of the areas that I remember was like this there was this creepy lion statue. So it was like this dark tunnel that you're walking through, and then you see this lion statue, and if you got too close to it and started walking, or if it saw you move, it would then run after you and kill you, and then you'd wake up at the beginning of the game again, where you're walking through the town on your way to the ritual site. So like that's how it kind of incorporated the time loop. And yeah, I don't remember how you were supposed to sneak past it. I think it was that you just had to walk slowly. So in Outer Wilds 3, you actually had the ability of walking and tiptoeing. Sort of like Counter-Strike. You know, you can either walk or you can very, very slowly walk. And that would make it so that the lion wouldn't hear you. And anytime the lion's eyes opened, I think you had to like stop. It was like red light, green light, you know? So you just had to make sure that the lion didn't see you moving and didn't hear you by walking very slowly. But me having zero patience, I just ran past it, or very quickly walked past it, because my thought process was if I move fast, it can't catch me. And I was correct. So then when you get past it, it's like guarding this doorway. And so when you enter the doorway, you go down this ice slide, similar to like the interior of the Interloper, that brings you to a big village that's underneath the Sunset City. And so then this area is pretty similar to the Stranger Dream World once again. I would say it's more similar to what I described with the Outer Wilds too. The like super aggressive species, how they lived underground and had all these lanterns and whatnot. But in this case, all the lanterns are now floating instead of actually hanging because you're in a dream world. There's no logic. And like I remember it making good use of dreams, and how like with dreams they don't make sense necessarily. So all of the stuff that happens, there's no science, you know, there's no like quantum entanglement and whatnot to explain it. It's more so just that the impossibilities that happen with like rooms being bigger than they should be, and like architecture not making sense, where it's like you can do like a loop around a room but end up in a completely different room type shit. Instead of it being explained with quantum mechanics, it's all explained by you're in a fucking dream, dude. There is no logic here. And I think what I remember, and I forgot to write this down actually, is that really interestingly, I believe I found out how to beat the game, or like I I ended up reading something in the dream world. So in the dream world, there was like stuff you could read to figure out what you're supposed to and whatnot, you know? Very similar, once again, to Outer Wilds. It's all knowledge based. You could beat the game in, like, you know, 5 minutes or some shit like that if you wanted to. And so with the dream world, it was a situation where it was like you actually find out it was something like your village is actually not good people or some shit like that. It was something weird like that, where you actually had to correct the wrongs of your predecessors and whatnot. And that's how you broke out of the time loop. And so instead of going through with the ritual, um you actually had to go against it. And yeah, it was something like that. I don't really remember. It was really interesting though. So it was another thing where you could get multiple endings. So you could either go through with the ritual and get the bad ending, or you can destroy the ritual and a better society or something like that. Uh, yeah. I don't think I'm a good enough writer to actually turn either of these into good games. I'm terrible at dialogue. That's the one thing. If I were to ever make my own like Outer Wilds story mod, I would have somebody help me out with the writing. And I might be able to figure out how to do the coding, cuz I mean realistically it's just uh Unity and C sharp. So like I know both of those. So it shouldn't necessarily be difficult for me to figure it out. But I also don't believe in my own abilities to actually create anything good, so I probably also want help from people in the Outer Worlds modding community for you know, helping me out with anything that would be past my skill level. But yeah, I honestly might like just as a test, I might try to make my own small story mod. Nothing very good. Like if I were to tier list it, at best it's probably going to be a D. At best whatever story mod I make, probably going to be a D. Going to be a D tier. You know, I don't think no, probably F tier. No, I'd create a new tier. It would be F minus tier because I don't think I'd make anything as good as the Survivors or Escape the Dreamstalker or like realistically, I think the only mod that I've played so far that I think I could match in quality would be Celestial Leeway. And even then, I'm doubtful that I could make something like that either. I would probably make something worse somehow. That sounded rude. I didn't mean it like that. I like Celestial Leeway is the most basic story mod I've played. So that's not to say it was bad. It was impressive because once again, I don't know how to do that. I might be able to figure it out, but I also probably wouldn't be able to figure it out. I probably would make something worse. So that's sort of the thing. I feel bad whenever I tier list these because I feel like some people might take it the wrong way. You know, like the mod creators might see that their mod is an F tier and take it as I hate your mod. I don't hate it. Okay. I think it's impressive. For instance, The Survivors, I found that one really impressive. I just was disappointed in the ending. Most of the stuff in F tier, it's just because of the story. In fact, everything in F tier, it's just because I was disappointed in the story, where it just kind of it feels like it's building up to something, and then the ending happens, and I'm like, that's it, you know. But I mean, also a lot of the ones in F tier were actually made for mod jams, so they weren't actually able to do much, anyways. They didn't have a lot of time. For instance, Hearth's Neighbor is one that I was disappointed in the first Hearth's Neighbor, but the second one was actually so fucking beautiful. I love it. I love Hearth's Neighbor too. I want to give it S tier so badly, but I just can't because of how I'm doing my tier list right now. And I don't think I would change the tier list. I think it works the way it is, you know, where I base everything off of and I think once I play through all of the story mods that have been made so far, I think I'll actually make a video going over the tier list and explaining all of the why I placed everything everywhere. And I still have like 40, I think now 42. No, not 42. Sorry, 40. I have 40 story mods that I still need to play. And I think I'm going to do a stream now. And by now I mean it's probably already going to be started by the time this video gets published. But yeah, I'm probably going to stream some of the like really short story mods right now. And then maybe I'll end it off with one of the bigger ones. Anyways, with all that being said, if anybody finds these dreams interesting and wants to turn them into a video game or a Outer Wild story mod, fucking go for it, dude. Probably other people could do it better than I ever could. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.